Yeah.
Good
Where the
man.
hell are we? Small? We're in the small,
Yeah, we're in
aren't
the
we?
small. Yep.
Yeah. So somebody just put an X on the map where you think that you are, and then...
Yeah, we're live.
Wait, is this all on map layer? Okay.
Oops. Not that one, not that one. Where the fuck am I? There we go.
Still using
that's still
XSplit.
not it. Jesus. Huh?
Still using XSplit.
Yeah. And it has opened like 30 tabs that were not the game. That was fun.
All porn.
Nah, but my Evernotes, and then my Facebook,
Right.
and then definition of, or explanation of the idiom, what does going south mean? Or it's going south. Which was not at all what I was searching for, but then I was like, I kind of want to see what people wrote as an answer.
So are we live right now?
Yes.
We just went live.
Cool. All right, so...
Yeah, just in time for me to be stupid. Like 1 minute in, just, oh, that's not it. That's
Perfect.
not it.
So, I am now the GM. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Except Mike hasn't changed his nameplate.
No. How do I change that?
So last time we ended on the city of Valrum exploding, and Babel having visions of this hobgoblin god Wogar. Now we kind of fade out on that as the party was walking away from Valrum as it was exploding, and we pick up with back at the house in Roanupur that the party has purchased. We understand that this is sometime later. We'll say like a year later. Does that sound right?
Shit, yeah.
And we can see that the house has been all built up. It's nice. It looks like brand new. We zoom in through a window and we can see Ashlyn working on a pottery wheel with ceramics all around him. There's like a door open. There's somebody that comes in, and we don't really hear what they're saying, but we see that there's like some exchange, like a friendly exchange going on. And Ashlyn gestures towards one of the pots, and this customer comes in, takes the pot and leaves some gold. Ashlyn looks very happy. Feel free to correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth or anything.
No, he'd be thrilled. He'd be thrilled to make a sale.
Yeah, and we then like snake our way through the house, down the hallway, out the kitchen, the back door through the kitchen, and we can see John with he's playing with this small, freshly hatched griffin, and in the background we can see two what can only be described as donkey-sized squirrels, very very large squirrels. They're kind of like playing. They're like play wrestling with each other, and John has a big smirk on his face, and then we kind of like fade out on that, and through the darkness we can kind of just see the just blips of light until it starts to look like fire, and we kind of zoom out and things come into focus as Ashlyn and John are in the street on their way back. They have like one of you probably has a basket full of food, and the other one maybe you have like a sack over your shoulder of supplies. As we can see, the house is on fire. One of the guard automatons, who has a red face or a red glow coming from the inside, has his arms up with magical runes surrounding them, and we can see like a little shower of water on this fire that's now burnt through most of the second floor. And a second automaton comes over and does the same. And shortly thereafter, the top floor collapses on itself, somewhat smothering some of the fire, and in combination with the further automatons that are coming in as they put out the fire. We then swivel the camera around to see Ashlyn and John just standing there. Can you describe to us what your characters might look like in this moment, starting with Ashlyn.
Yeah, I think he's got like one porcelain or celadon like vase, right? Like good size, like half of his body, and he's clutching it like it's his baby, right? And there's just like there's not quite tears, but like his eyes are like extra red, and like he's covered in ash and everything. Like he was rooting around in there for like way longer than he was supposed to, and he's holding it, and he just like looks over at Jonathan. He's like, "Oh, my gold's in there."
Meanwhile, John drops the sack he was holding and spills out a bunch of like sack of flour and some sausage for his trademark gravy. Starts sprinting towards the house to try and like get through the wreckage, and is probably stopped by one of the automatons because they're trying to still put out the flame. So
I don't think the automatons actually care. I think they just let you run in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John's first instinct is to go check on his livestock, his animals.
Yeah, so
his children.
So yeah, you have to like kick through some like barriers that like fall in support beams and stuff that you're gonna have to fix later, and like weave your way through the house to get to the backyard. And in the backyard is it's like all torn up, as if there was like a struggle. There's like a little bit of blood, but no sign of Laga, Babel, none of your squonkies.
Oh, the squonkies!
Or the griffin, other than the nests that they would have.
John just falls to his knees.
Right.
Then if we allow a little bit of fiat, it starts raining, and he screams to the heavens.
Yeah.
It's actually just the automatons like missing the house.
Yeah,
exactly. But you can't quite tell because if he's crying or not because the rain. But
yeah,
he's totally crying.
So we kind of we have like a little montage of you crying, and maybe like Ashlyn doing like various grieving things. And like maybe we have like a little scene of you like sifting through the ashes and like pulling out these pots that are half broken, or like where you like pull the pot out and then it shatters from like the change in temperature.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then we end the montage with you two together again, like face to face. And when do we think that this is when Hudson shows up? Or do you guys want to go get him?
I think it makes sense to like have him show up.
Okay. What for what reason have you shown up at the house? Did you hear about it, or did you have a meeting with them? Or like were you just getting together for like dinner maybe?
I think dinner.
I think
would be my guess.
If you allow me a little bit here, I think So for everyone, Hudson is a new character to the game. He's a young kid.
What does he look like?
I'm real bad at this. He's he's a young kid who's really just started filling out. He's probably like 19, 20 years old. Most of his life he was a lean farmhand, but in the last year or so he's really started putting muscles like on his shoulders, on his chest. So he's not quite the manhood yet, but he's definitely become a pretty formidable figure. He's got bleached blonde hair that kind of naturally swishes a little bit. He's pretty damn tall. He's got to be over 6 feet tall. He was a young farmhand that was saved by Ashlyn and Jonathan as they made their way out of the ashes. Right, so when the city exploded, our party retreated, but along the way they hit some of the suburbs. They found.
Let's have like a little flashback to that. Why don't we?
Sure.
So like, there's like the explosion, and then like it kind of fades out for a second, and then comes back, and we see the party like making their way through a little town, and maybe there's like some buildings that have crumbled because there's huge hunks of like the wall or like building from the town that have like crash landed on structures inside of this town. And where would Hudson be when they find him?
Yeah, so I think Hudson I think he was like defending his mother.
Okay.
And he probably fought off a couple hobgoblins with just like shit around the house, right?
Right.
And then they were just like, nah, fuck it, and they just collapsed the building on him and like
Okay.
went on their way.
Okay.
They're like, it's not even worth it. They're hit and running these towns.
Yeah.
So they probably like they were like digging through the rubble, probably not for people but for treasure.
So we have Jonathan, Ashlyn, Laga, and Babel. Like, we see them run in and like start smashing these hobgoblins, which all disperse because they don't have any interest in fighting really. They just like wanted an easy score basically.
Right.
And as soon as they start dying, they just bolt. And that's when we then have like it fades out, comes back to like the party of Laga, Ashlyn, Jonathan, Babel, like sifting through the rubble. And then like we fade out, come back, and they're finding like dead people. Fade out, flash back in, and we see them like removing some rubble, and Hudson is there, like battered and bruised, but still breathing, and like being helped out of the rubble. And then we flash back to from Hudson's perspective, we can see Jonathan and Ashlyn like in this burned out husk of their house. Like Ashlyn is like looking through stuff, maybe, and Jonathan is maybe like walking around aimlessly with that 1,000-yard stare, or whatever you think would be better.
Sure.
And why was Hudson here?
Yeah, so I'll TLDR it real quick. Hudson came back to Roanupur with the party. He signed up with the Golden Company because he felt like he could make a difference. But they've pretty much, and we might go into this in more detail later, but they were destroyed by the city being blown up. It just took a while for them to actually go through their death throes and die. So I think this is probably the moment where like he showed up that morning. He's been on a couple, like he's a pretty well off fighter right now. So he's been back out. He's been fighting hobgoblins for a while, and he showed up at the squad barracks this morning, all like bright-eyed and chipper, great sword over his shoulder, and everyone's kind of like packing up stuff and leaving, and he's like, what's going on, guys? What's the job today? And like the old grizzled veteran just turns and like puts his hand on his shoulder, and it's like, it's over, kid. And he's just like, shit. So he was probably wandering around the city, like not really sure where to go, what to do. Then he's like, now I should check in on my old friends. And then like Q seeing the fire and him like, huh, that's oddly close to where their house is.
Yeah, and there's like the wind starts picking up, and like a chunk of ash comes and like hits your cheek and like leaves a mark.
Yeah.
And so now you can play out that scene as you'd like.
Yeah, so he probably has a bit of a flashback, honestly.
Yeah.
And he just takes off sprinting and reaches the party.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Hudson comes up and he's just like, what? He's like got his sword out like he's ready to fight. There's obviously nothing to hit, and he's like, what happened?
You can see John just staring at you like with a wet face, holding like a charred collar, and you just see a little tag on it dangling that just says almond, and it's like partially burnt.
Right, we returned to the house and it was half destroyed, right? Like we didn't see who did it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's like, we weren't gone, but 2 hours at most.
Yeah, I think Hudson looks at you, Ashley. He's like, this house, it was everything to you guys.
If it was just the house, I'd be okay. But they took my babies from me.
Who?
Whoever did this. I know I didn't leave the stove on, because Ash yelled at me for that before. And I learned, don't leave the stove on.
And it wasn't the kiln, damn it. No,
Plot
this was on
twist,
purpose.
he left the stove on. We don't find it out until the very end. We burn all of Roanupur down.
You're level 20. Hey guys, I just had a spell cast on me, and I remember very clearly now,
I left the stove.
I did leave the stove on.
Yeah, the real villain was Maytag.
I think so. While you guys are standing there talking, there's like some papers that are like blowing around in the street that all are like charred up a little bit, and now they're just like blowing out into the street from like one of the your sitting area on the first floor.
Go grab it.
Okay. Yeah, one of them is the deed, but you also find like a bunch of crumpled paper, and a lot of it is like threatening words, like you types of things like "you don't belong here," "that doesn't belong to you," like that kind of stuff, or like "you're gonna pay for what you did," like that kind of wording in there, but nothing.
We're watching. We'll find
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yep. And none of you have seen this before, but it's definitely coming from inside of the house.
John pockets the burnt.
Yeah, I'm like holding
Collar.
it. Like, is there a post office? Is there a date on any of these?
So, you can roll me. I guess it would be survival to like see how old these are, because they're not stamped. But you might be able to tell how old they are based on the wear and tear. There's a decent amount of them, and you would assume probably that there would be more of them. Yeah, you're not quite sure how old they are. You can tell it's like they weren't all done at the same time. You're finding a couple that are like older. You're just not sure how long they've been coming in. They might have been in the house the whole time, and you just never knew, right? Like they might be from the past owner. Maybe they were like in a wall somewhere, just like walled up for some. Who knows why? Maybe there's a secret compartment that you guys never found.
John would like to browse the wreckage to see if he can find any leads, to see if any of his pets might have made it out or anything like that. So I'm going to assume investigation probably.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is shot in the dark.
Whoa.
John's too upset.
Yeah, too upset. It's too much of a mess. Plus, this isn't really John's forte.
It's not. He's trying.
Did we ever check the mailbox in this place?
We have a mailbox.
Oh, god damn it.
I think Hudson's trying to help put out the fire quicker.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the fire's pretty much out.
Sure.
It's just a smoldering wreckage. The ash that you got on you was just from like the wind picking up and carrying some of the ash down the street.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
John looks to Hudson. Well, we won't be having that sausage birthday dinner tonight, now will we?
Aw.
Sorry for inviting you all this way, and this is what you come to.
That's rough.
Turn 40 and life's still a sack of shit.
I think Hudson puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, "We'll get him back."
He looks up to you and gives you a little nod. John's only like 5'8", maybe.
Yeah.
He's sturdy, though.
Fairly. I don't know. Hudson's sturdier.
Yeah. Hudson's a big beefcake boy.
Hudson's more imposing in every way.
Might not be as good at tactical fighting, but
We'll see. So, what would be your first course of action here? Do you guys, like we talked about, you guys having possible leads? Do you want to look around in here more, like more specifically, or do you want to go to somebody that you just assume is responsible for this?
I think John's going to check around. He probably can't find the obvious signs of what happened to his animals.
Yeah.
I think he probably has like a little bell thing that'll ring for the squawkies, so he'll maybe like ring that and see if that gets any sort of response.
Aw.
Yeah. So we have this sad scene of you just ringing this bell into the night, and we can just hear like the sounds of Roanupur and nothing else.
Yeah. At that point, what was the guy we got the goblin dogs from? His name? I don't remember.
think it's
I don't remember
my
either.
notes in Amanda's sheet.
Yeah, well, that guy retired, so someone else took
Okay.
his shop over in the last year, so we can start a new NPC.
Sure. John probably has some sort of connections with him, so he maybe either want to check in with him or find someone who's better at tracking and investigating, because John's got a sack of gold, and he has a thing to spend it on now.
Shout out to Amanda. She remembered my favorite enemies when I didn't remember.
Nice.
Amazing.
She's got a lot of notes here.
Nice. I just have notes on John, so...
Yeah. She's got notes on her nightmares, how much we paid for the house, who the pit fighter was, Quip Red Spark. But yeah, nothing about the actual ownership of the dog. She's probably art imitating life, that one. Like, nope, we owned it the whole time.
Right.
I don't know who the owner is.
Yeah, it must be me.
It's just a something collar.
Yeah, I think Kit, or no, I'm not Kit. I'm going to call him Kit for a while because that's who he is in my head right now.
Could be Kit.
No.
Kit Hudson.
Kit's moved on to other life adventures. Hudson, I think somewhere in his like Golden Company training, he was like taught some very basic questions to ask in an investigation. And he's not very smart, so he's not very good at it, but he's got like, where were you on the night of blah blah blah.
Right.
And when you're like, let's go talk to the animal dealer, he's like, yeah, it's a good place to get some leads.
Well, if nothing else, he may have an idea who might have been interested in doing this, or someone who could point us in the right direction for tracking or something. I don't know, this brainy head stuff's never been the strong suit.
So you guys are gonna head over to the arena and try and get in contact with your point of contact, I guess.
Either him or the guy I buy my animals from.
Which one do you want to go to?
The arena's probably the more productive lead. The animal one might give me a lead on helping find my animals, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to think if Hudson would be smart enough to throw this out, but he feels like... wow, if someone stole your animals, you probably want to sell them, so maybe the animal guy knows.
That's why I was like, hey, keep me informed if anybody tries to pawn off our pets.
Right. So, I mean, we can say that you stopped by there on the way to meet up with your contact at the arena, whose name is Regal Braun. That's your contact over at the arena.
Someone's got to take notes. I should at least do that since I abandoned DMing.
Yes. We all know I won't.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. I have notes right here.
Where's the notes page on the character sheet?
You know what? I'm gonna give you a new character sheet, handout. I'm gonna do a handout, and you can write in. I think.
I just put everything in the bio stuff.
Oh, I can't edit. Oh, I can't edit that. Give me a handout. Mysterious note, huh?
Ooh.
Hang on, I'm working on it. My Google autofill is being a jerk. It should be in there now.
Player notes. Show to players.
Can you edit it? Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, damn it, I did it again.
What was the name again?
Regal Braun.
What race is he?
He's a half-elf.
Half-elf.
Yeah,
Animal.
he's one of those half-elves that uses his powers of charisma for evil.
I like it.
Questionable uses.
Also, this is the arena guy, not the animal dealer.
Yeah, this is the arena guy.
Oh, we're doing animal. Okay.
Because I assume that you go to... So, you guys go to the animal keeper, and you're like, obviously, nobody sold any animals here. Like, to an upstanding citizen. But you do... Like, it would just be you saying, hey, like, just keep your eye out. So I figured we could skip through that since we're on a time limit here.
That's fine.
Cool. Let's do it.
Cool. So you go to the Goblet, which is a local bar that was originally set up by a goblin that is somehow smarter than he should be, but nobody really talks about why that is. Like, everybody just assumes that some wizard took pity on some goblin and tried to make him civilized, but never really stuck. So he was smart enough to make his own business here in Roanupur. And so this is his bar, and he's like, yep, it's the Goblet, cool. And this is the hangout of Regal Braun, because he doesn't hang out at the arena necessarily all the time.
Right.
Only when there's matches going on, or if he's
business
managing somebody. Yeah, business, exactly. So this is his local hangout. He has his own area, a VIP area, and right outside of it are his two bodyguards, two big half-orcs.
Where in the city is it?
It's let's see, I don't remember if we put where the arena was before.
No.
But I would imagine that the arena is in the small.
Okay.
Because it's probably it's not really very tasteful. So, and I'm sure there's probably other arenas in town, but this is the shadier one.
Sure.
So, you guys have to wait for a second, and then Regal gestures for you guys to come in as an associate is leaving, and he's just sitting there. He has a female human with him that's one of the many women that he seems to take company with, and he waves you in, and you guys can come and sit down at his. He has this round table, and around him is lit by little magical orbs, which gives this pink orb, pink glow.
Oh, he's got the Himalayan
can you hear it?
salt.
Yeah.
Good man.
When you sit down, can I get you guys anything to drink?
We came because we think he did this shit, right?
Maybe.
Well, or at least has leads, if nothing else, because he's involved with the underbelly. So it might not directly be him, but he may have know-how.
Right. I mean, and we look like shit. We literally are carrying everything we own on our backs.
Yeah, but you guys know that he's used to dealing with people that are like this.
Yeah.
And to him, you guys from dealing with him for a long time, you guys know that to him, you guys seem like prey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you guys are all beat up, and you're coming to him, so obviously he has what you need, and he'll hook you up for a price.
Yeah, just Ashlyn unceremoniously flops in a chair and just says, "Something's wrong."
Yeah, he just snaps at somebody, and he just whispers something under his breath, and you can tell a spell was just cast, and somebody over at the bar seems to look around quizzically, and then they go over to the bar and start getting something. And so he says, "So what brings you you three to my final seven? You look like hell." Is there something I can do for you? He puts on a big smile. Not yet. He's we can cut to that if you're gonna wait until the drink arrives.
I mean, Ashlyn's just eyeing him
Yeah. Do you guys want to roll an insight on him to see if he's being shifty or something?
While that would be a prudent idea, John is not in the situation where he's paying that much attention.
Yeah, I guess this is the point where I should say, generally, I'm not going to ask you to make rolls. That'll be on you guys to make the rolls.
Sure.
Because I don't want to either constantly be if something weird happens, I don't want to be he's lying to you. Roll me an insight check. And also, I like to leave it open to interpretation. So if you guys are I see this thing, I want to know about the arcane properties, I'm going to roll Arcana. And you can just roll it. You don't need to ask me. You can just roll it, and then I'll tell you what you find out from that roll. That's just part of my jamming style.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
I guess you're saying we know that he likes to put people in this situation, so I'll make the insight and see how far I think he's gonna try and press his luck. Like if he's actually curious or if he's just setting up to remind us that we've lost something.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good roll.
Yeah. So he's basically you're fairly certain that he's like he's treating you like he normally would anyway. Just you guys are a little bit on the wounded side looking.
Yeah.
Maybe not physically, but emotionally, and he's definitely gonna leverage that against you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hudson is just he's standing by the door, generally trying to look as intimidating as possible, and he's the one that's like not fucked up, right? Because everyone else is fucked up.
They don't. They're just like covered in ash and sad.
Right. That's fair. The old ash and sad look.
John's like right on between that sad and angry line.
Yeah, and
he's sangry.
So you didn't sit down at the table with them. By the way, the table is kind of like away from everybody else, and like it has like a privacy curtain kind of thing that's open, and the two orcs are just like standing on the ground part because his table is kind of raised up. I should have mentioned.
Sure.
Like you have to go up a couple steps to get to it, and these orcs, one of them is kind of overweight and like he's like almost 7 feet tall. He's huge, and the other one is like about your size but like wider, basically.
Sure. Yeah, I think I've been in this situation a couple times, and it was always my job to stand in the back and be like, "I'm gonna fuck you up if things go wrong for my boys in there."
Mm-hmm. And just so that we're like setting the tone for this, you guys know that like if a fight broke out here, it's like I don't know if we could take these 3 dudes. Like you know that Regal is probably not very tough, but his guards are definitely tough.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think John's looking for a fight here because he's probably dealt with Regal pretty regularly. So it's.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are generally friendly terms, as friendly as you can get with Regal, but
sure.
Right. Normally we're bringing him stuff to buy. This time we're here to maybe make a purchase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know? So my character definitely spends some time. He's never like felt comfortable fighting in the arena because it seems like not quite honorable, and the golden company really looked down on it.
The Golden Lions, by the way.
The Golden Lions, yeah, I keep calling the Golden Company because I just rewatched some of Game of Thrones. I even made this fucking company. Golden Lions. But does he recognize these two from the arena?
The orcs? Or
yeah. Has he seen them fight?
Not in the time that you've been here.
Okay.
If they did fight, it was a while ago.
Gotcha.
I think John probably fought in the arena a couple of times, but only in like bare knuckle brawl events where it's just like fist fights, not to the death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just show matches, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a good stress reliever.
Yeah.
Also, he had to make money to afford, Griffin food and all that stuff. So
it's also a little bit of a bonding experience. That's how you meet your neighbors in the smalls.
Yeah. He grew up on a Griffin ranch. He's used to a rough and tumble life.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's just like, how can I help you? Like, your drinks are now here.
Right.
John didn't order anything, so.
Okay.
Ashland's draining his drink quite quickly. Smacks his lip loudly.
Or no, John did, and then he pushes it over to Ash. And then I'm just standing behind Ashland with, like, my hand on the chair.
Yeah.
See? We're not coming here under the best of circumstances. This will be a little bit different.
I see that. You look a mess.
Well, somebody decided they had a score to settle with us, apparently. What do you know about them jealous types?
Oh, I don't know if I can say anything, though. Where are your companions?
Listen, you're clearly not understanding what happened here. I'm not here because I'm bored. I'm here because I'm pissed.
You just cut out really badly for me.
Yeah, you cut out.
Damn it, sorry.
You, disappeared.
Or you muted yourself somehow?
No, I didn't. There's a bunch more devices on the Wi-Fi suddenly. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Ashland says, you're not understanding me. I'm not here because I'm bored. I'm here because I'm fucking pissed.
Different than usual, I see. All right. So, what is it that I can assist you with to assuage your anger?
And I look at Jonathan. The fuck's that mean?
He actually laughs.
It's the best party to do this with.
And he just says, he laughs and says, oh, I'm sorry.
John puts up his hand.
Help you feel better.
John just grabs a sack on his side, throws it on the table with a loud clang.
Mm-hmm.
His entire life savings just lands on the table.
340 GPs.
No, it's 474. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me.
He lost 340.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he
No.
looks. No, that's what he had left. But then
I cut an amount, and then I was like, all right, I'll roll for whatever else is left. So I threw my savings in addition to whatever was left.
So normally, Regal's eyes don't really look at the coinage, and it's like you. But when this clangs onto the table and spill out onto the table, he looks down and he just lets out a whistle that I can't do. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's like, you really want to know this information?
He then grabs his little collar that says almond and throws it on the table.
He just cocks an eyebrow at you, and then he says, "Well, you surely must know something. Your friend has been in here several times, asking me similar questions."
Do we know who he means?
Out of character, yeah, I was gonna say.
I missed that. What'd you say?
Your orc friend.
Oh. Right, yeah, so there's another knowing glance. I've kind of been looking at Jonathan as he's been, doing his drama.
Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I'll tell you what he told me and the information that I gave him. So...
I think Hudson's going to interrupt here.
Mm-hmm.
He steps up and he's like, good sir, where is your honor? This poor man is down on his luck. He's thrown his life savings before you. You're just going to take all of it?
John puts his hand on Hudson, this is not the time. I just want my information so I know whose door I need to kick in and whose teeth I need to smash.
So Regal just has this big smirk, this huge smile on his face, and he's like, he's cute. Where'd you get him?
If I recall rightly, under a house.
We pulled him out of a fire.
Isn't that always where you find these kinds of bumpkins?
It does seem to be a common occurrence.
Yeah, I think Hudson, he gets flustered and kind of red in the face.
Yeah.
And he's like, but.
I appreciate the sentiment, Hudson. In another venue, this would be a good idea. This is neither the time nor the place.
But how will you live? How will you rebuild your house?
It's not my problem, kid. But he's a big boy. He can take care of himself.
This is how things are done here.
I came to this place with no money. I'll make more money later. That's a problem for another time.
And so, in the interest of time, because I know that Dave has to go pretty soon, basically, Regal starts telling you that Laga has been coming in here pretty often with these notes. Then I assume John produces the notes, and he's like, yeah, those notes. And he's been asking about who this might possibly be, and Regal tells you that there's been whispers that there's a lot of people that didn't like what Laga was doing, and you guys are obviously guilty by association. But not only that, the Golden Lions, even though, officially, they don't really blame anybody, there are people within the faction that do blame you, and he can't say exactly who, because they're being pretty tight-lipped about it, but he's heard rumors that there's been some Golden Lion characters that have been asking around about possibly mercenaries to do something about you guys, to kind of pay you back.
There's a second where you look the camera pans on the Golden Lion that's on Hudson's half plate.
Yeah, he definitely says that part hushed where you can't hear.
Okay, sure.
Because he's superly charismatic, diplomatic.
When John
Yeah,
hears that, you see John glance at the golden lion on
Yeah.
that.
I was just saying the camera does the same thing, even though we were like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, the camera then zooms into my hand on Hudson's shoulder, squeeze a little tighter.
Yeah, I think Hudson stepped back after his outburst once you guys kind of like, and he's just like, it ain't right. It ain't right.
So you're
And,
saying we gotta find ourselves Laga. Maybe he can point us just in another direction.
Maybe, or I can give you some places to go and maybe ask around. I do know the people who were consulted about this, so
That would be
You can go pay them
greatly
a visit.
appreciated if you could do that for me.
and he looks down and he says, "You know, we've almost covered my cost because you understand I am burning some bridges here, so it is going to cost me money in the long run, and you know that's not going to come out of my end. You know that. So why don't we even this out to an even 475, and we'll call it a
Yeah,
a deal.
What
You
did you
didn't
put
even-
down? 400.
I
You didn't even tell us who did it.
You need one more GP to make that.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was 4 something.
No.
He basically asked you for like another 30 gold.
One more is so much more insulting because it's just no matter what your life savings was, it wasn't enough. I needed more.
Actually, yeah. That's what he asked for. He asked you for one more.
John puts his hand up. He takes off a shoe and shakes out 10 silver. And
And
puts the shoe back on.
yeah, Regal just gives you like a wry smirk, like that's right, you bitch.
You always
Kind of
have
a-
more.
Yeah, and then
John doesn't give a shit.
he just kind of gestures to the woman who scoops all the coin to the other side of the table, and that's when Regal will give you the address of a couple people that you can go and
Yeah.
question. And I'll have those names for you next session.
Sounds good.
Nice,
Cool.
nice little cliffhanger, right? Quest log updated.
Mm.
Go knock on the door of blankety blank.
We are the ones who knock.
It'll just end with us grabbing that list of names, walking out, and then John grabbing the collar of Almond off and putting it back in his pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it goes blurry and to blackness.
What were they called again?
The Squonkies?
Squonkies. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Ashland puts his hand on Jonathan's shoulder, which is he gets on a tiptoe and then he pulls a box over, then stands on it, and then puts his arm on your shoulder.
This is also probably the only time you've seen Jonathan actually upset about anything in the time you've known him.
Right. We're just looking at the setting sun over Roanupur, and we see these horrific, ethereal image of these horrific donkey squirrels romping and playing with each other, hissing
As you guys-
wildly.
It's utterly savage.
As you guys walk into the distance with
Uh.
your cloaks fluttering, going for some revenge.
That's right. All right, cool.
My straw hat blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
We'll get him back. We'll get him for Almond and Chestnut and Beechnut.
Leo.
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 Leo's the griffin, and Almond and Chestnut are the Squonkies.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
So do we still have Chestnut?
I think Chestnut might be at the stable, maybe, or something, or we might find Chestnut, but I think...
Okay.
Yeah, so I think...
I don't think we'll find Almond, and Leo has probably been a...
Yeah, so Chestnut, I think what happens is, maybe Jonathan just keeps that bell on him, and, it is, pinging every once in a while, and,
Mhm.
along your route to find Regal, you came across Chestnut, who, came running to the sound of the bell.
Aww.
He gives Chestnut a tackle hug, which results in him being tackle hugged, because Chestnut's a giant
Huge.
squirrel.
Yeah. Watch out for those claws. They're deceptively
It's
scary.
okay, I'm in full plate. It's fine.
There you go.
Yeah, your full plate is all scarred and dinged up just from.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a year old. He doesn't know how to maintain it
Yeah.
because he's not a fighter.
Ashland and
I'm-
Hudson are just standing on the edge are they playing? Is he dead?
Yeah, we're not.
I'm now imagining in the future, or maybe in the past, there was a time when Jonathan ran up against some thug, and he pulls out a knife, and then Jonathan's like, "You ever wrestled a Squonky?"
Well, that's why I had to go to the arena. I had to train for Squonky wrangling.
You call that a knife? You ever wrestle a squonky? It's
God.
got 5 of those on each hand.
That's how you bond with them when you're young. You gotta, play fight.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I'm
Normally
looking forward
they
to the
don't use these
Squonky
for transport.
art. That's for sure.
I'm looking forward to it too.
All right. Cool. Thanks for humoring me, guys.
We can talk about what almond and chestnut look like later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for jumping on, Ethan. Thanks for stepping up and running. I'll be
No problem.
curious to see Hudson jumping in and wowing the world with his naivete.
Right.
And, we got ourselves a little mini arc for Jonathan and Ashlyn to get back what's theirs.
Yeah, cool.
And then we had some people in chat, so thanks for hanging out with us, chat. It was a short session. We spent a lot of time kind of reconfiguring the game and figuring out what we're going to do next to the Season 2 of Roanupur, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
All right.
Or non-prologue chapter.
Yeah, non-prologue chapter. Yeah, it's session 1, the beginning. All right, cool. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.